Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I'm sorry, but I have to talk about this because it's more relevant than ever. So, for years and years, we've been hearing CM Punk's gonna return, CM Punk's gonna return. Even when CM Punk was in the UFC, people were saying he was gonna return. So, it seems like more than ever, because this is when you know something's gonna be true. Pretty much when all the dirt sheets are reporting on it, not just one or two, but now all of them are getting the story. And usually I would say Wrestling Inc. is more reliable. And as much as I hate to admit it, the Dave Meltzer Magoo, usually when there's like a really big story like this, like someone's coming back or something like that, it usually ends up being true. That usually means that someone in the company leaks something out. Of course, like Paul Heyman has been known to talk to the dirt sheets and everything. He likes Dave Meltzer. So, once in a while there's going to be a juicy nugget that's going to end up being a real story. And it appears like that is going to be a thing. Because from what I am seeing right now, is basically we've got this story right here. We've got CM Punk possibly returning to WWE. So here's the Wrestling Inc. article. You can judge for yourself. It was speculated in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that if CM Punk does return to pro wrestling, it will be for WWE. If you've seen Punk on Twitter, he's not too keen about AEW. There's an impression from WWE that they believe he wants back in the company, but right now it's nothing that they are counting on happening. Regarding Punk and AEW, the Observer noted how he did receive an opening offer from AEW a while back, but then made himself scarce and was negative toward the company during the interview with Mark Raimondi of ESPN back in July. It looks like there has been no contact between AEW and Punk since then. He hasn't been too crazy about it. And you all know how I feel about AEW, so justifiably so. We noted earlier this summer how Punk's representative went to Fox to try and push Punk as a co-host of the new WWE Backstage Studio show on FS1. WWE was not interested in Punk for that role. The Observer also noted the feeling that even though WWE went after Punk fairly hard in the lawsuit with Dr. Aman, whatever his name is, costing him a dollar amount in the seven figures, WWE is still the place that he feels he can make the most money. That's probably true. It's also a little bit hypocritical. We'll get to that as I finish this here. But, first of all, WWE is foolish for not wanting him for the WWE Backstage show. Why would you not want someone the caliber of Punk? Someone who's talked about as much as Punk. Especially when you're trying to cater to the smarks. Punk appeared at StarCast 3 last month and was asked if he would take the call and have a conversation with Vince McMahon or Triple H called him. If Vince McMahon or Triple H called him, he said he's open to speaking to anyone, but he won't be the one reaching out. I wouldn't not talk to them, Punk said. On what planet, in what other business, does somebody suspend someone else and then they won't come and get them after the suspension? Why is it up to me? It's just a weird situation. But that being said, I'm over it. I've been over it for a very long time. It's in the past. I'm 40 years old, and I try to be as zen and wise as possible, as I possibly can be. I'll have a conversation with anybody, but it's nothing. I'm not calling them, but if they're oh, hey, I'll talk to you, see what you got to say, but it better be good. I think I had a pretty good career. I don't think there's anything left that I need to accomplish. Punk, who turns 41 next month, left WWE in 2014, and blah, 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 you already know that stuff. So, alright, so let's talk about this here for a minute. It seems to me if you're asking my opinion on this, and of course you want to know my opinion, that's why you clicked this video. I would say that this seems like more than ever like a real story that Punk is coming back. It's been 5 years, and I know I said that, CM Punk is never coming back to the WWE. But I didn't know that he had this mindset now. Now that he's over and everything, and he's thinking more about the money and everything, I think he will. I don't know, it's a very weird time, and we always thought, I always use this as an example, but Sable, after the messy lawsuit and everything, nobody expected to see Sable. She left probably worse than anybody ever did in WWE history. So it was a huge surprise when she returned in 2003. And if you weren't watching during that time, if you're a younger fan, familiarize yourself with the history. I'm sure that certain things might be obscured with today's internet, but no one expected, after that big huge fallout, like I'm talking about like a fallout, like a big huge mushroom cloud style fallout after Sable left the WWE back in 1999, following WrestleMania 15. It was a huge, colossal cluster, what. And somehow Sable ended up returning. And she was actually on screen with Mr. McMahon for most of, her time during her return. She did Playboy, so the WWE was very much behind her. And they didn't even make her look stupid. They just made her, still elevated. And she got a lot of screen time even back then. So things were very different back in 2003, but you get my point. Never say never. Now, I'm very surprised, after everything that CM Punk got put through, with getting hurt, and WWE, making him still work while he was hurt, and all that, almost punishing him, putting him through the ringer, and after, everything that the guy's been through, I have to say, how is this guy honestly considering going back to the WWE? I gotta say one thing, if more than anything, I'm disappointed in CM Punk. I truly am. And why am I saying that? Well, have you been watching this channel? Honestly, the WWE is horrible. Now, you might be saying, Brad, don't be such a mark. It's all about the money and everything. CM Punk just wants to make money. That's what it's all about. And I get that. I get that someone wants to make a paycheck. But have you seen when somebody leaves the WWE nowadays? It's not like Sable back in 2003. When you return to that company, whether your name is Lashley, who else can we use as an example? I'm kind of drawing a blank here, but you know what I mean. People that left the company and then end up coming back. Bobby Lashley is probably as good of example as anybody. Well, EC3, I guess, is another one you could say. They will take you and they will break you. And they will bury your bootay. And they will punish you for leaving on bad terms, or not even leaving on bad terms, but just being a success elsewhere. Punk wanted to drop the WWE, become a big star in the UFC. He made tons of money there. But, now he's kind of in a way, even though he says he's not going to reach out to them, he's saying hey, basically what Punk is saying right here is, I'll take a job with them. If, I won't call them, but if they call me, I'll be weak and I'll accept the offer. Now, I don't know why he's thinking this way, because they're going to bury him very badly, and they're going to make him look foolish. You already know that. Now, I am pretty sure that Punk, number one, is going to be asking for a lot of money. Number two, he probably won't be as likely to do dumb stuff unless he's at the point where he just wants to make money. He's willing to do anything. People change over time, so anything's possible. So that could be something. But this is the other thing that we kind of have to think about here for a minute. Injuries. One of the big things with the whole lawsuit with CM Punk and Scotty Goldman over there, Colt Cabana, was the injuries, right? That they sustained while in WWE. Well, look at today's product. Look how many people are getting injured. Left and right and left. Right? I mean, you have injuries all over the damn place. And it's ridiculous. The stars are getting injured. You had, Tommaso Ciampa over there, old Tabasco sauce. I know it's not a kidding matter, but the guy, seriously injured. Other people, careers in jeopardy. I'm not even sure about the stability of Alexa Bliss. There was something weird going on there. Daniel Bryan, still, almost permanently retired. Paige, some nincompoop who's now all of a sudden complete 180. Now Sasha Banks being held in a high regard. Why is this relevant? Because they promote dangerous bad workers, and CM Punk was actually, and I don't really believe this story about. I think it was an accident. The stuff with Ryback and everything, because I've heard Ryback talk. And honestly, the guy is smarter than that. CM Punk is a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He's an eccentric. He's a good performer. So, sometimes they could be a little bit. CM Punk is a bit unbalanced. The guy obviously has some type of personality disorder. I will say that right now. I think he's bipolar. He seems like he could be a cool guy at times, but at other times he could be a jerk. And, I kind of appreciate the guy kind of just says what's on his mind. But I've seen him, and I have to say, some of the opinions he's had at different times, and the guy seems a little bit unbalanced, and he doesn't really seem that good around people. So I'm not saying that the guy has to be super, hey, how's it going, guys? Super outgoing and everything like that. I'm not that kind of person, but I know how to behave around the people. CM Punk really doesn't know, and as great as he is, I think he thinks he's more than what he is. But that type of attitude will probably make him a bit more immune. Because let's face it, nowadays everyone is cowards in the WWE. No one wants to speak up. No one likes to say, I don't like to play this part. I won't be involved in the crazy, stupid, 24/7 hijinks and everything. No one wants to admit to any of that stuff and tell Vince McMahon, this crap is bad and I don't want to do this. CM Punk will probably do that, and it will either be the end of him or it might lead to a little bit of change in WWE. So CM Punk being there might unsettle things a little bit. It might be healthy for the WWE, but then again, like I'm saying, I'm not seeing it as a positive. If you thought that CM Punk was going downhill at the beginning of 2014 or at the end of 2013, expect a lot worse. It's going to be a really rocky road if Punk decides to take that offer, because I'm pretty sure it may not be this year, but I would say definitely next year at the very latest. CM Punk will be back in the WWE and he will be competing for the WWE. I would expect either Royal Rumble or post WrestleMania. Either he will have a match, he will be entering as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble, or they'll book him at WrestleMania, or he'll show up the Raw after Mania. Something like that's going to happen. But I'm just saying, I'm very surprised at CM Punk. I'm very disappointed in CM Punk that he has this attitude. Because the thing is, why would CM Punk, if the big thing was injuries, why would he come back now when everyone's getting injured? I mean, has he, like I'm saying, I know he can deny and say, oh, I haven't watched the product and all this nonsense and everything. You know that he has. Obviously, he must see what's going on. He's very aware. If not, the fans alert him to that all the time on Twitter. People are always harassing him on Twitter and stuff and posting, nonsense on his Twitter. So, he knows what's going on. But Punk, honestly, do you think that it's going to be any different? They may offer you a hefty payload, but they're going to treat you like garbage. And if you had all those complaints back then, those complaints are only going to be multiplied today. It's a very negative work environment. People are not happy there. Yes, they do it for a paycheck. The people who have not, tried to jump ship to AEW or do any of that stuff, but Punk, like, honestly, man, this is not the best move for you. And I'm very, very surprised that, he'd even consider any type of offer from them. Anyway, guys, that's my opinion on the whole thing. I think that he's making a terrible mistake. I know he hasn't accepted anything, and as far as we know, no offers have been made. But something is going to happen. CM Punk, one way or the other, is going to end up in WWE in the next year or so. And it's not going to be good. It's not how everyone thinks it's going to be, this big trial. I know what most of the smarks want. They want him to come out in Chicago and, have this big surprise. They've been, fantasizing about this for like 5 years straight now, almost going on 6 years. And I am sure that the WWE will probably want this guy for SmackDown on Fox. They would have to be crazy to not want that, especially when they're trying to fool people and say, hey, we're good old WWE. Hey, look, we still got Stone Cold and everything like this. Check out the commercial. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And guys, I'll see you next time.